Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. No, I'm supposed to say welcome to my YouTube channel because this is like a new series that I'm starting. So if you're just joining us, my name is Rosemary and I will be showing you guys how to make a lot of Pinterest inspired outfits, and I will be making some of the Pinterest outfits that I've saved on my Pinterest board. So I'm not used to the filming and sewing process, and I'm going to be starting with simple outfits like this jacket. So I'm going to be starting with this jacket because it's a simple top and I want to style it with a jean. This is the fabric that I'll be using. This is crepe pastel pink, but it's also known as baby pink. I'm going to give you tips on how to shop for fabrics. You need to know the texture of a particular fabric that you're buying. So if you're buying cotton, linen, chinox, crepe, silk, chiffon, like whatever fabric you want to buy, you have to know how it feels. When you want to buy your fabrics, you can ask other people buying beside you, like, please, oh, see what I want to sew. Show them a picture and be like, is this material going to be good for it? That person might be an experienced professional, so they might know what to tell you. Without so much talking, let's get into the sewing video. And before I start sewing, I want you guys to know that my drafting method is going to be different because it's personal use. So I'm going to be drafting on the fabric. Always draft on the wrong side. So if you want to know the wrong side, you have to look at the base of the fabric. So from the base, you can be able to tell which is the wrong side and the right side. So let's get into the sewing video. Firstly, I want to apologize for the type of chalk I used. It wasn't very clear, so if you stay tuned, we're going to also get to the part where I had to go in with the black pencil. The first thing we'll be measuring now will be the full length of the top, and I used my half length, which was 18 inches. After that, leave a space of 1.5 for your button casing, and then you draft your neckline after that space, which is 3 inches by 3 inches. Then you use your curved rule to create the curve for your neckline. Mark out half of your shoulder length plus 1 inch for your shoulder dart and ½ inch for your sewing allowance. Mark out 10 inches for your bust point and then 8 inches for your chest level. That will be 2 horizontal lines. Then you draw a line from the top to the chest level, and then you draw a small line of 1 inch. Calculate your bust divided by 4 plus 1 inch for your darts and ½ inch for your sewing allowance, and mark it out. For me, everything was 9.5, so I marked it out. Measure your waist divided by 4 plus the 1 inch for that and ½ inch for your sewing allowance. Then you join the line from your chest level down to the waist. Then this was when I noticed that the lines were not visible at all, so I had to use a pencil so that you guys can see what it looks like. So I just remembered that I didn't add the 1 inch for shoulder dart and the ½ inch for sewing allowance, so I just added that now, and we're going to create the armhole from the chest point down to the chest level, but I'll advise you to take yours down to the bust level because it's more free and comfortable. Next thing we're going to be doing is the shoulder slope, which is 1 inch down from the top line, and then you join the line from the neck to the armhole. So I'm doing the darts already. The dart is 1 inch divided by 2. Next thing we're going to do is to get the midpoint from our straight line, and the midpoint of our bust is 4 inches from that line, and then we do the same on the lower part so that we can connect our darts and make it straight. So always divide your dart into 2, which is ½ inch each, and then we connect the straight line first from the midpoint down to that waist point, and then you connect from the midpoint of the bust to the midpoint of your shoulder. This is how everything is going to look like. So we start cutting. Cut out the darts and then neckline and then the midpoint of the shirt, and then you pin the darts together so that you can join them, stitch them together. The next thing we're going to do is the lining of our sleeves. So I'm going to show you how to do a lining. You have to fold 2 pieces of cloth together and trace the sleeve at the top and then you cut it out, leaving a space of 2 inches in between. So watch the next lining that I'm going to do so that you can get to understand how to make or create a lining for a sleeve or for a neckline. I'm trying to change the neckline from the curved neckline to a slanting neckline, but if you want it to go deeper you could take it down to your preferred length. Now we are going to be drafting the back, and the difference is that we're not going to be putting that 1.5-inch space that we did in front for the button casing. So all we have to do is just start directly from the line from the midpoint. You have to get your chest level 8 inches and your bust point, which is 10 inches. You draw your 2 horizontal lines, and then you get your neckline. For the back is going to be just 1 inch and 3 inches for the neckline. So I actually made a mistake, but keep watching, you'll see that I have to correct it later on. Now we're going to be dividing my bust, which is 34 divided by 4 plus 1 inch for that, and then ½ inch for sewing allowance. You mark it out and you join the line from the chest level down to your waist point. So this is where I corrected the neckline. It's just 1 inch down and then 3 inches wide. So it's the back is always different from the front. Now we're going to do the shoulder slope and then join and connect the line from the neck to the armhole. So it's pretty simple. If you understand how to draft the front, you can also understand how to draft the back of your top. Now this is the dart point, and the dart is, we're not going to have a shoulder dart, and the back is just the bust dart. So we're going to do it from that bust point, which is 4 inches. Always remember to use the bust point. I made a mistake and I used my chest level instead of the bust point, so my dart was really high. So I would advise you to always use your bust point for your dart. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the other side, which is to get the bust point 4 inches from the midpoint and then down the waistline 1 inch. You divide it by 2 and connect it. Now you have the dart. So the front and the back is ready. The next thing we're going to do is to create the lining for our neckline, and this is exactly how you do it. You put your outfit on top of your folded piece and then you trace it out and cut 2 inches from the actual curve. So if you slow it down, you're going to get it properly. Now it's time for us to sew. Over to the sewing machine. I'm going to thread my machine and start sewing. So you connect your threads. Make sure make sure you have the actual thread, the color of the fabric that you're using, and you start sewing. So the first thing we'll be sewing is the dart, the front dart and the back dart. After that, you have to iron this properly. Make sure it's well pressed, and always remember to use your ironing cloth to protect your fabrics from burning. So I'm putting in the neck lining first, and the the neck lining for the front and for the back first. Next thing I'll be doing is to sew the sleeve lining. So I'm going to put it right side to right side and sew ½ inches from the edge. After that, remember to notch the edge of the lining so that you can actually press it when you turn it the other way, just like this. You know, if you don't notch the edges, it's not going to turn. So you always remember to notch the edge in tiny pieces and then flip it over and press it. Next step was to join the front and the back piece together, and that was when I noticed that the front and the back shoulder lengths were not matching. So I knew I had to cut out a certain amount of inches from the back so that it matches the front. We're going to take a short break now and I'll be back with you guys. Hi guys, I know I've not been making sewing videos here. I once had a channel that I was posting my sewing videos, but I think there's no difference. I should just post everything together in one channel and carry you guys along. So this jacket, I want to start it with a jean. I made one for a customer, but it does not really look exactly like these ones. I want the one that's going to have this slanty neck, and the one I made for my customer was a round neck. I have preferences. I don't want the pockets, and I also don't want the flaps on the neckline. I don't want that flap, so I'm going to make mine a basic neckline. I'm going to also use black buttons, not pink buttons. And is there another thing? I don't think so. Thank you guys for watching, and if you're new here, you know what to do. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button, and let's grow together. We're back, and I had to cut out the neckline. The previous one, I had to cut it out with the lining and extend it so that it matches the front shoulder piece. And this was the older neckline, and then we're going to cut a new lining for the new neckline. This was from the extra fabric that I had left, and now let's go and sew it together. I'm done sewing and notching and also pressing, so the next thing we're going to do is to sew the darts together. So you hold it together and start from the tiny piece. Make sure you always mark out your darts so that you can follow it as a guide. So you start from the thin part to the wider part. You can also start it from the wider part and end it at the thin part. It depends on how your machine is positioned. So always make sure to press your darts very well so that it does not bulge and so that it looks neat. Now we're going to be joining the front shoulder and the back shoulder together, and you can see that it matches now, and the neckline is wider than the previous one. So we'll be joining the shoulder and the sides of this top. So guys, I'm almost done with the jacket. The only problem I have is the armhole. I was supposed to make it bigger. It was supposed to start from the bust point, not the chest level, because it's a free jacket, not a long sleeve. So it's supposed to have a wider armhole. So if you're drafting yours, make sure to take it down to this point. Like, make sure that your armhole is down to this level. There are no other issues aside from this place. So the front is a bit longer than the back, which is not an issue. I can just trim it and hem. If you don't know how to draft, just follow the tutorial that I've put in the beginning of this video. So this is it up close. Now I have to do the zigzag all over because the edges are still rough, so I have to do the zigzag to protect the edges, and then hem it, then put the button casing on this side. So guys, I don't know what this is called, but I call it the button casing because that's the part that houses the button. So this is how I make my button casings. I just fold 2 inches out. Like, I roll a half inch and then roll another 1 inch. I press it with my iron and then I just sew it. After the button casing, we're going to be hemming the top, and that's just the finishing touch, just hemming the base of the top. Now this is my favorite part, so let's create the buttonhole together. You fix your buttonhole foot. You have to change your stitch to a tighter stitch, which is the blue one, and we're going to make use of the blue stitches, which is labeled 1, 2, 3 and 4. So the first thing we're doing is 1, and 1 goes in this direction. So after that you switch it to 2, which is the lower part of your buttonhole. So after that you switch it to 3, and then 3 takes you back to where you just came from, and after 3 you change your switch back to 4, which is the top, to close the buttonhole. Now this is how you make your buttonhole. It's pretty easy. If you continue doing it like this, you're going to be used to it. You're going to practice and get used to it. So after that, you're going to open it with your seam ripper. You're opening the middle, and you could actually use your scissors to trim the rough edges. So now I was trying to pick the button. I did not know whether to go with the gray or the off-white, so I just did a sample test and I saw that off-white fit the top and the color better, so I had to go with the off-white. I believe we all know how to stitch our buttons using a needle and a thread. So I'm done and I'm happy I went with these buttons. Now I have to iron this place so that it looks really straight. You guys, so I'm done making these jackets and I'm not 100% happy. Why? Because this place is quite open. I took the measurement last week before I started sewing. Yeah, I think that was last week or last 2 weeks. Yeah, I took the measurements of my bust and I know I did not. I made sure to add all the allowances that I need, even the back dots. I added the allowance, or maybe I was supposed to put a button here instead of this place. So I mean, not every flop is actually a flop. We might have to wear it like this. I think I still like it. See the time? It's 7:11. It's already late and it's not very late, but it's dark and I cannot do the fashion haul anymore. And although it flopped, I wouldn't say flop because I'm wearing it right now and it looks good on me, and I can obviously style it the way it is. As a fashion designer, I don't think any piece is a flop. All you have to do is figure out a way to style it and make it look good. So this is how I'm going to be styling it. I'm going to be leaving the 2 buttons on top open, and depending on where I'm going, so sometimes I could leave all the buttons open and wear something inside. Aside that, I like how it looks, and I'm not going to be doing the fashion haul. I know I did not film this while I was making it because it was for a customer and I had to make it quickly, but I'm going to do a fashion haul with all of the outfits that I made, including this black jacket I told you guys about in the beginning. If you can remember, I made the black one and now I'm wearing a pink one. So I'm going to do like a fashion show for you guys, and that will be on Saturday because today is Thursday and I have work tomorrow and I'll be doing a night shift, so I have to prepare. That's why I need to round up everything and go to bed early so I can be early to work tomorrow and come back home on Saturday, which is when I'm going to rest, and after resting I'll do a fashion haul for you guys. Hi guys, so as I promised, I said I was going to do a fashion show for you guys, and now it's time. So it's time for the fashion show. I'm going to be showing you guys the top I made and then the other 3 outfits that I made and I did not film, but I made them for a customer, although I'm not supposed to be wearing them, but she's my friend and I took permission from her and she said it's fine that I can do the videos with the clothes. So let's go. Outfit number 1. Outfit number 4. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This will be my inspo for my next video, so stay tuned to my channel if you want to learn how to make something
like this. Bye.